this late into the tournament, we will be looking at fairly high placing players' games, I feel. And as a result, we are going to watch a match between Mikemeron and Neurogenus, who is Jinous in game. I still, I've known him for years. I still have no idea how to say that name. So I have a game ready up on the screen for us. Well, on my screen for you to screen up.
There we go.
Ooh.
All right, so Mikemeron playing Kagalicho against Neurogenus playing Shoku the Botanist. First Shoku champion we've seen today in the cast. Mike with Double Blood, a Monsagi Lilypad, Hero Fall, Double Rotten Rancor, Cottontail Explorer. Over for Nero's side, sitting on Quad Wild Shard, Dread Harvest, Tilling the Soil, and I can't remember the name of that card off the top of my head there.
Wild's Favor.
Wild's Favor, thank you very much.
Yep. Both players are going to keep these hands. I accidentally let a Blood Shard be played as I went to look at that. I am gonna say Mikemeron playing a real slow hand. Does have one of my favorite interactions though, Cottontail Explorer burying things so that Ron Rancor can bring it out. And Nero not on a slow hand, but I don't see the payoff yet. He's putting a lot of Dreadlings into play, but I don't see the payoff yet. I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything crossed, that there is a Puck's Daydream and a Wildlife in Nero's deck. Who is the top player? I'm gonna keep calling him Nero. You all can't stop me. So for anybody watching this later, that's the top player.
Maybe Siege Engines. I don't know. Some Assault ability. Who knows? I don't know what's going on here. Cottontail Explorer for Mikemeron. We see Hero Fall go into the crypt. Back over.
See a Wildlife. Yeah. Pesky Pipit. I can definitely be down with the Pesky Pipit. That makes a lot of sense here. Going to be getting a lot of Dreadlings into the crypt, so scrounge abilities like Pesky Pipit are just going to be nothing but value.
Swing for one. Mike's going to go to 20.
Yeah, no real reason to chump out with the Cottontail Explorer there.
Hero Fall for Mike off the top, joining the one in hand. So double Hero Fall, double Rotten Rancor and Shards. Here comes a swing for one. Nero's going to get this little bit of a ping here and go to 18.
Yeah, Shoku does start relatively low on the health scale. The sub 20 health champions generally considered the lower health. Locket of Reflection picked up for Nero. It gives a little bit of spice to what we're seeing here. You're going to see Wild's Favor create probably 4 Dreadlings, which are going to swing in. It's 5 points of damage. Mike will go to 15 here, unless he wants to Hero Fall one. Stranger things have been seen today. Paragons of Insanity. If you're Mike, you're probably still not that worried, though. Like, none of these are lasting board threats at this point. You're just going to take a little bit of damage. You've still got your Cottontail Explorer. You don't have anything in the crypt for your Rotten Rancors, but, I mean, what threat are you facing?
This does give the scrounge for Nero with that Pesky Pipit. We'll see a Blood Ice for Mike and a Fate Weave. Kagalichu finds a resource, so definitely in the resource department, we'll have to pitch one to go down to 7. That well will be that card. Nero creating some Dreadlings off the Dread Harvest and Champion Power. Here comes a swing. We do see a block with that Cottontail Explorer, so 1 point of damage here to Mike.
Yeah, may have just decided that that's enough. Doesn't want to take any more ping damage than he has to. And we are going to see the Pesky Pipit attempt to be a threat. It's going to come down with the scrounge ability. It's going to be promptly Hero Fallen away. Mike does avoid the mistake that I've seen some players make. The Pesky Pipit triggers at end of turn. Sometimes people like to use Hero Falls at end of turn. So small misplay avoided. I say small misplay, that would be devastating.
Nero here going to be swinging in for 1 because those Dreadlings must attack, block with the Crusader. Here comes Locket. And
So Locket's interesting. Locket can create a lot of dreadlings all at once. Locket can get that tilling the soil up really quickly. But Mike is going to create a battle hopper here, put down the Rawpaw Gang, and now they have the possibility of using the Rawpaw Gang for life drain, which is massive here. Not really seeing the light for Nero here in this matchup, who is going to use Tilling the Soil. Its scrounge ability draws an extra card. There is the Puck's Daydream. It is in the deck.
both players at 14 health, but that is about to change very quickly here as Mikemeron has 10 damage on board.
Post-combat, we see the resource come down for Nero, who doesn't want the Dreadling to swing into the Rawpaw Gang.
Mightsinger.
Not a bad card, but again, everything looks to be shaping up Mike's way here. He's just going to put the life drain onto the Rawpaw Gang, swing in here. Nero has no resources available, takes 10, goes to 4, 6 health gained back from Mike. 16-point health swings, quite a big deal.
Mightsinger into Mightsinger, thanks to that locket. So a wild threshold gained with the wild resource. We'll be able to look at the top card. If it's a troop, goes to hand. It's not. Here comes a Dreadling.
Neither of the top cards were. It actually, both of them will take a chance to look at it. Nero does have the opportunity here to gain 7 health off of Wild's Favor. That will keep him in this for one more turn, potentially.
Hero Fall taking one of those Mightsingers out. Exarch off the top for Mikemeron in a really good spot here. Kagalichu being activated, finds a well. Rawpaw Gang sacrificing the just played Exarch to give it flight, so 6/6 flyer with life drain. Exarch comes back with Rotten Rhine Core, battles the Mightsinger, 10 damage. Nero down to 1. Mike at 26.
Yeah. There's potentially an out here. It's not Commander Prompt, but there was potentially an out there. If the deck is running Wildlife, which I really hope it is, then there was the smallest. Oh, that would have been really good. There was still a chance there with the I wasn't even thinking of the Wellspring creating a Dreadling for each threshold it gained. Yeah, that's really close to being super on point. Nero will still be dead here, but Wildlife could have created some giant menagerie of nonsense that would have saved the day. I really want to believe there's a wildlife in there. I really want to believe there's a wildlife in there.
Mikemeron will take game number 1 against Nero Genius here in round 5 of the Hex Bash. We'll bring you game 2 here shortly.
And when we say shortly, we mean almost immediately. Replay client too strong. So Nero going to be on the bottom this time away. We're gonna miss a hand pre-mulligan here from the top. I'm actually going to very quickly restart this match.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I have not unhidden player names, and no reason to go through that without unticking them.
So while Penta is fixing that, we are currently casting round 5 of 7. Round 6 currently underway for players. Again, top 8 players from the 7 rounds will move on into a single elimination constructed round. Players trying to make the top 4 in order to be in the money. Let's go ahead and get into this match now. Nero Genius with his opening hand, double Wild Shard, Tilling the Soil, Wild's Favor, Dread Harvest, and double Mightsinger of Ages. For Mikemeron, looks like a single Wild Shard, Strangle, Underworld Crusader. Like, I definitely think he's pitching here.
Well, we know he's pitching. We actively saw him pitching it last time. Yeah. So, 6-hand is much more keepable. A couple of ice, a Rawpaw Gang, double Hero Fall, I guess, is probably the kicker here. Still looking for some gas. And we're going to see if the Nero Might Machine can get through, I have high hopes for Nero's hand here. It just seems a little more aggressive. It is fun to think though. We know he's running Locket of Reflection, and he's got the pair of Might Singers there in his hand. So we know those are his two Might Singers, right? Just interesting to think of how like Locket decks sometimes get really crazy draws like that. We're gonna see the early Dreadling. You know, for all of the power of Kagalichu, 21 health is kind of low for a prismatic champion.
So back to Nero. Finds a Wild Shard off the top. He'll play that Might Singer. He'll play the Wild Shard. We'll see if he finds a troop off the top. Does not, but Dreadling generated as a result of Dread Harvest. And with that little hit, both players' health totals equal as of right now.
So Hero Fall on the Might Singer would be massive here. And we are going to see that. That's both Might Singers gone. That's a card from Nero's hand. That could be the crippling moment right there.
Here comes
well,
Runear Hierophant. Wild Shard's going to create that Dreadling, which is going to pump up the Runear. And Champion Power also creating a Dreadling. So 4/4 Runear. 2 Dreadlings swinging in, but an answer definitely in Mike's hand for that Runear Hierophant.
Yeah. Now, I wonder if the minor socket in the Runear is the Blight Blossom. I think it has to be. So it is going to leave behind a Blight Blossom.
Wow, Kagalichu hitting nothing but shards.
To be fair, looking at his hand, he's not too upset to have another resource. So Hero Fall going to hit that Runear. Here comes the Blight Blossom of Legend. He's here to do 17 points of damage all on his own.
Bumblebot joining the rest of the field. It does have speed, so everything's swinging in. Mike's going to go ahead and chump 1, take 2, go to 15.
A lot of troops in both players' crypts here. Culminations could be devastating. But we are going to see a resource-protected pesky Pipit. There's not enough resources available for Mike to really stop this. So we're going to see at least one Squirrel. I believe there's 2 current options, maybe 3, for this to hit. The Twin Tail, the Fluff Tail Cloud Killer, and I think there's a tea drinking Squirrel that it can hit. A Grand Squirrel Titan.
We see the Blood Ice. Going to go ahead and Fate Weave for Mike. We see Pav Yazukan just be hard played. No scrounge there, so nothing for Nero to have to sacrifice. Acolyte of Shoku for Nero off the top. Wild's favor. Going to create those Dreadlings.
One of those Dreadlings going to become a 6-drop if I had to guess.
And going to go ahead and transform it.
Ooh,
Thorn
weird. Weaver. I guess this was potentially lethal so the pesky Pipit could swing.
Mike trying to decide how he wants to block here.
I think he's got to block
pesky Pipit here. That was an interesting swing with the Pipit because that was generating him his troops.
Well, like I said, I think the idea is leaving Mike on so almost any 6-drop would have had 4 attack, right? Getting a 3 attack 6-drop is actually pretty bad luck. But if it was a 4 attack, he was forced to block the Squirrel Titan or the 4 attack troop. So it was a pretty safe bet. And even in this worst case scenario where you see a 3 attack 6-drop like Thorn Twister, Mike's on 1 health. He needs cards that don't exist for him to get back out of this. So interesting swing, but definitely the right one.
And Nero will force a game number 3. Very good matchup there.
Quick game, but not like the bad kind. I don't want to say there's bad kind of quick games. I like watching aggro decks play as much as anybody, but there was some decisions to be made there. The early Hero Fall on that Might Singer I thought was going to cripple Nero.
All right, so we're going to be bringing you game number 3 between these two players. Nero forcing a game number 3. Shoku the Botanist. First time we've seen that champion in play today. Looks like we do have the match up and running. We'll take a look at opening hands for both players. Mike on the bottom here with a Blood Shard, Well of Ancients, Double Wild Shard, Rotten Rancor, Pavyazakan, and Fentio, the Brood Priest up for Nero. We see Triple Wild Shard, Eternal Seeker. We see Probe Warp Tear.
Wildlife is the one here.
What's that?
It's Wildlife. It's
Wildlife on the left, yeah. And Shoku Garden on the right there.
I really want this Wildlife to be played for like 60 or something ridiculous like that. Just make 60, 60, 60s. That would be pretty okay with me. Actually, I think he can only make wild cards, right? Yeah, it can only make wild cards, so it won't ever be for 60. But, you know, we have seen the Puck's Daydream, so we know how the Wild Springs. So we know Wild Spring? That's not the name of that card. The resource generation from Nero we've seen, so we know he can accelerate and get that crazy Wildlife out.
Playing for 10 or will make a 10 Walking Calamity, Nero says. Yeah.
Yeah. Hard to beat 10 Walking Calamities.
Yeah, it would definitely be a challenge for sure. Nero here getting Shoku Garden available, so 2 Dreadlings generated. And Activation Champion Power is going to create a 3rd, so 3 damage in. And
so this is...
Go ahead.
No, you were going to say what I was going to say.
Yeah.
We're going to see some health generation now. Every Dreadling that dies is a point of health, which Nero needs to buy himself some time to accelerate. Fentio the Brood Priest, though, is a rather nasty thorn. 4 defense, so it can block a Dreadling every turn. And in addition, Tarantulas are never fun for the opponent. Just knowing that you're under that clock is always scary.
Nero is definitely needing to find an answer for that Fentio. Activation is going to put 3 Tarantulas into Nero's deck. We see a Battle Hopper created Kagalichu going to find Rotcast. Well, that's a pretty good hit there. Rotcast can take out that Probe Warp Tear. And it does indeed.
But he did put a 2nd troop onto the board, which enables Crocosaur if the 5th resource is found. And there was always 5 resources available. There was never not a time where that Wild Shard just came into hand. Wildlife trigger could be pulled here, make 2/2/2 or 2/2 drops. Probably not the way to play it, but.
And he does.
Oh, he could! He makes a Rose Kitten and a Carnosaur. Oh no, the Carnosaur's gonna eat the Battle Hopper.
That's so bad. Bad luck there.
Well, is it bad luck? I think Carnosaur doesn't have to battle, so Nero made that decision. Yeah, Carnosaur is a May effect. So Nero could have chosen to do that on purpose. Just clear the way, get some more damage through. We're gonna see the Acolyte played, so there's still a 2nd card anyway.
Activation of Fentio.
6 Tarantulas.
6 eggs, yeah. 6 eggs on the deck. And he finds one right off the top. Ooh.
Yeah, and the brutal part about that is that means if you wanted to kill, say, the Tarantula and the Fentio, you're going to lose the Crocosaur now, which is subtly brutal. But Nero is slowly gaining ground here in the game. He's at 5 resources, and Eternal Seeker is in hand, so he can stabilize. He's also at 25 health. Like, you know, he's not in as much danger as it would look like.
And he definitely has ways to generate Dreadlings to gain health if he wants to do that as well. So he definitely has some ways to stay in this for sure. Rotten Rancor. Ooh, and Mistress of Bones comes out. Gonna bring back that Battle Hopper Fentio. Wow.
Yeah, so as stable as things kind of were looking, it's getting worse for Nero as it goes. Finds a Crocosaur. So he will be able to deal with the Fentio yet again. Clears up a little bit of the way. Still the Mistress in the sky, but the Mistress, as I mentioned earlier, I believe in round 5, an Eternal Seeker can choose 7, and it doesn't void itself.
That's good.
Something,
that's good, yeah.
Yeah, people miss that, and It's cost people for not knowing that, but I'm sure Nero knows. This double Wild's favor aren't doing a whole lot for him there, though. We're going to see the scrounge ball.
And that Crocosaur going to go into the crypt, so Nero left troopless, looking to try to find some resources. Puck's Daydream.
Oh, no, the Puck's Daydream. Actually, the Puck's Daydream might be fine here. Yeah, okay. Because at least one of these gets
One
through.
of those get through, exactly. Depending on how the blocks go.
Yeah, I mean, he might choose not to block with the Battle Hopper, but with the Puck's Daydream on the board, I'm sure he does.
And he does indeed. So one will connect, which means that'll give Nero a resource, put him at 6, one away from that Eternal Seeker.
Also gains him 4 health again. Back up to 24.
Well of the Ancients. Activation Champion power. So Runir into a Underworld Crusader. Here comes a swing for 10. Nero going to go from 24 to 14. Back to Nero. Finds a resource off the top. So a Seeker is now available and online.
Yeah, but what's he going to have to he might choose 3 here to get rid of the Crusader and the Runir as opposed to the Mistress. But then how does he deal with the Mistress? That's the question. So we see him choose 3. He's going to Shoku up another charge power. I think he had to do that to survive. I can't. I'm very slow at math for somebody who has done so much math. Oof. Oh, no. The top deck, Yazukan changes everything again.
Top. Oh, my gosh.
Yazukan's brilliant here. It is a life drain blocker. It's going to start getting troops back. Nero just barely didn't find an answer. A turn ago, that actually might have been the kicker there, the Wellspring, but without a commander prompt or any other way of dealing with it on the board, it's just not going to be enough, and we're probably going to see a bunch of troops come back into play here soon. Nero is going to go for the big play here. He's going to swing in with these Dreadlings, try to get a couple more resources available so he can make a big Wellspring so that he can go for a final push here if the opportunity presents itself. But he is staring down almost lethal on the board already. Any removal off the top from Mike. Not any removal. Strangle, I guess, isn't enough.
Nero going to hit for 2, gains a couple resources, gains some health off those Dreadlings, now at 13. Back to Mikemeron.
Told you it'd be Battle Hoppers.
Battle Hopper from the Yazukan finds a resource off the top.
Actually, Battle Hopper might be the only thing. No, the Penta is in there.
And looks like full swing with everything. Forced to block here. Nero going to go down to 4. Plays out the last card in hand. So Mike now in top deck mode. Back over to Nero. Finds a Dread Harvest.
Mm-hmm. Was Commander Prompt enough? That would have been 3. No, it wouldn't have been enough.
Here comes Wellspring. Creates 5.
This is just to create the Dreadlings.
Yep, just to create those Dreadlings.
Now, these are going to swing in. They're going to connect. They're all going to die, leave Nero on 9 health.
Exactly 9 damage on the board.
He does survive next turn through a block. He will lose his Eternal Seeker. But now he has 20 resources available. So if he draws a Wildlife, if he draws the second Wildlife, he makes 10. Oh, the Pavias came back.
Oof.
No, Mikemeron. Let's see the top card. No.
Oh man!
It was a Wildlife. There's a Wildlife on the top of Nero's dog. I know it. I can feel it in my heart. It doesn't matter. He goes to 0. Oh no.
Very, very brutal there. Very brutal. I wish we had the opportunity to look at the top card as the casting just to see what it was. It would have been,
interesting.
It would
be so nice.